Can Claude Code help for an app that pulls data from other websites and public data? Yes, it will build a scraper. So you can either have it build a scraper for you, or you can connect it into a scraper service like Apify. So get web data, build automation. It has an Instagram scraper, an Amazon scraper, Google Maps scraper, TikTok scraper, website scraper, etc. Apify has built these agents for you already. You can build them yourself. And there's libraries like Puppeteer, for example. I think Puppeteer. I should know this. I've built stuff with it. Wish I could spell. Puppeteer, headless Chrome, browser automation. So yeah, you can use this for scraping. The only reason why you might not want to do that yourself is it's a bit of a ball ache, frankly. Building your own scraper, you need to work out how to make sure it's undetected. So if you are coming from the same IP address, the same location, it will get detected because they'll be like, why is this IP sending 50,000 requests? Bam, you're banned. If it exhibits non-human-like behavior, bam, banned. So it's just a bit of a pain building your own scraper, depending on what you're trying to scrape. So using something like Apify allows you to basically offload that pain to the people who have built these. So like this Instagram scraper, for example, can I click on this? This is, doesn't say how much it is, but generally they'll be like, here we go. The scraper is per pay-per-result pricing model. It will cost you $2.30 to scrape 1,000 Instagram comments. So instead of spending days building your own scraper, you could just use an Apify scraper. So if you are using Claude, you would say, hey, Claude, I'm setting up a scraper using Apify. Here are the details, and Claude Code would be able to work out the rest for you. So that's how you access public websites. I would say that, so scraping is definitely a gray area. Some websites you are not allowed to scrape. It's against their terms of service. Some are public. If it's a public site, you're fine. Fully public sites would have a way to download it, like Wikipedia. You can just download Wikipedia and then give it to Claude Code directly. But if you do need to scrape, go for Apify. Claude is good, but it doesn't do phone apps. Yep, it can do phone apps. Just say at the beginning, this is what we're doing. Claude Code specifically. I use Antigravity from Google. You get both Claude and Gemini. Yes, Antigravity. So if you want to get into vibe coding and don't want to spend any money, then right now Antigravity is the best way because it has the fantastic price of $0 per month. It's a new product from Google, released in December. I'm trying to get some adoption on it. So right now it's free, and that gives you access to Gemini 3 Pro, Claude Sonnet, and Opus 4.5. Opus is the best model, and GPT OSS, the open source ChatGPT. There will be some limits to how much you can use each day, but it's free. Like, hard to argue with free. So Antigravity is great to get started for free. Some people can't write code. That's fine. You don't need to anymore. That's what vibe coding is and why it's so exciting. I had not seen code until last November. Now I change things directly with directions. Lyra has been coming to my streams for the last few months. Like I keep saying, use Lovable or Claude Code. Lyra had not even seen code until last November and now is able to manipulate code, able to build things. That's what is happening with artificial intelligence right now, which is super exciting, is that now anyone who has an idea, anyone who has something that they want to build can just do that. Will it be as good as a software engineer that has 10 years of experience? No. Does that matter? Not as much as people think. So it's a very exciting time. Is Lovable better at code than ChatGPT? No, but what Lovable gives you, so the difference between a vibe coding app and just using ChatGPT is that it gives you an interface where you can preview what you're looking at, your application, you can play around with it. What it's doing is not just creating the code, but it is helping you to deploy it as well. It's helping you test it, because the first time you generate code, that's fine. You could do it in ChatGPT, Claude, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just code. The work is in testing what you've built and then going back and forward with the vibe coding tool to say, actually, we need to move these around, or this functionality doesn't work, or the way you've built this is incorrect because of XYZ. That's where all the work is. The first generation is just the starting point. A tool like Lovable, Cursor, Claude Code, etc., will also deploy your code. It will either deploy it on your computer, localhost, or on their servers. You can see it all visibly. And that allows you to tinker around with what you've built and to provide feedback. So Lovable is better than ChatGPT in that it provides that interface for actually working with the code, which is 80-90% of it. ChatGPT can help you with that first code generation, but then you need to get it into your own localhost server, etc. You need to deploy it, which is more friction than using Lovable. ChatGPT is rubbish. Lyra says, creating me 2 apps really easily. Fantastic. Now you've moved to Claude Code. Claude Code is really good. There's more of a learning curve. It's harder to get up and running, but once you've started using it, it's really good. Is it good to make a religious app? Is it too sensitive? No, it should be able to. I think it was Marcin. Marcin did a TikTok on this. He found somebody who'd made I think it was a Bible. It would give you daily Bible quotes. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it, but they were doing great numbers, and it would basically give you a daily search for it. Let's do Marcin Bible. It should pop up. Here we go. No, he calls it a $50,000 Jesus app. Everyone's chasing viral AI apps. Meanwhile, boring faith-based apps are quietly doing 50K a month. This one doesn't rely on trends. It monetizes habits, belief, commitment. The strongest forces on earth. No huge audience, no crazy tech, one painful problem. This is how app businesses are built. So this is an existing app called Bible Note. You could replicate using AI very, very quickly. You could build a religious app. And depending on what religion, obviously, but you could bring in the text of your religion as well. If it's the Bible, that is public domain, you'd be able to use that freely. Wikimedia has copies. It's not hard to find a copy of the Bible. I'm going to have to do a capture. Normally, TikTok starts screaming at me to do a capture. A religious app could work. The Bible is open source if you're using the Bible. Does Claude Code work well with Replit? I think Replit uses Claude, but not Claude Code. Correct me if I'm wrong. I use Codex with VS Code. Codex is a large language model, the coding agent from GPT, OpenAI. VS Code is a development environment, a piece of software which allows us to see our folder, to see our code, to have a chat panel that we're talking to. So it gives us a nicer interface to work with. Code is free. You can download that. I have Cursor, which is a version of VS Code, a fork of VS Code, and I run Claude Code inside of Cursor. It gets confusing because we have Codex, Claude, Cursor, Composer. That is Cursor's own large language model. We have a lot of C-based tools, which makes it confusing to talk about. But running a model inside of a development environment like VS Code or Cursor means you have the best of both worlds. You can bring in your agent, but you can also see all your files, you can see the code. It gives you a nice interface to work in. That's how I do it. Your camera is so crisp. Thank you. Sony something, and it's going through my computer. It's a mess. Don't ask them what moisturizer you use. I don't use moisturizer. Not very exciting. Claude Code is better, but I'm used to Codex. Prompting with precision is important. You still need to prompt. Prompting is primarily about clear communication. It's about being able to get an idea from your head and communicate it well to the artificial intelligence. And the better you get at that skill, at communication, the better results you'll get out of your AI. And that is regardless whether you're using whether you're using Claude, whether you're using Codex, whether you're using ChatGPT, like whatever you're using, your ability to communicate what it is you want is going to determine what successes you have. It seems like ChatGPT are getting it wrong more often these days. Hallucinations are down across the board. Plus, now that search is pretty much automatically used, it will source its information a lot more.